want sick thumbnails like this, or even this? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how to make thumbnails in Photoshop from scratch that will boost your CTR rates through the roof. You don't need to have any experience using Photoshop at all because it's totally beginner friendly, and I will guide you through the process. Now, let's dive right into the video. First, let's open up Photoshop and create a new layout with the following dimensions: 1280 by 720. Now, let's open your main subject, in this case, me. Then go to the quick selection tool or press W on your keyboard and click on Select Subject. Now, in case you make an error like this, you can zoom in and zoom out with the shortcuts shown below. Alt plus mouse scroll up to zoom in and Alt plus mouse scroll down to zoom out. Once you zoom in, hold Alt and left click to clear the excess area. Another cool shortcut to increase and decrease your pointer size is shown below. Alt plus right click plus move right or left to increase or decrease the size respectively, and move up or down to adjust the hardness. Hardness is like the range of effect of your cursor. Now, let's move the subject to the main project. Let's place it here. Next, let's open up a background. I normally go for dark color backgrounds so the subject gets highlighted more. Let's drag that onto the screen. Press Ctrl plus T on your keyboard to free transform the selection. Let's align it to a good position. And perfect. Okay, now right click on the background layer and convert to Smart Object. Next, let's go to Filter, Blur and Gaussian Blur. Set the radius to 3.5. To highlight me more, let's add some exposure to the background. Click on the layer and this icon right here and select exposure. Let's set it to -2. Nice. Now, we are going to link this layer to the background so that it doesn't affect other layers. Drag your cursor between the layers you want to link while holding Alt, and when you see this sign appear, simply left click. Let's lock these layers now since their work is done. Now let's add the text. Click on the text icon right here, press T on the keyboard. Then click on the screen where you want the text and let's type in "do you want." Press the tick over here. Now I need 4 rows, so to duplicate this, hold Alt, click on this text and drag it down. Let's repeat it 2 more times and voila! Let's change this to YouTube, this to thumbnail, like this. Okay, let's resize and align it to make YouTube and thumbnails pop more. Let me speed this up. Okay, next we are going to add some color. Select the YouTube layer and go to Effects, then Color Overlay. Let's set this to red. Next, Bevel and Emboss, Inner Bevel and Smooth. Just play around with the depth to whatever you like. And let's increase opacity. Highlight mode to light yellow. Next, select drop shadows. Distance 5, size 1. For contour, let's go with linear. Oh, and opacity 50%. Angle to 90. Let's go white. Now, click on Alt and drag this Effects tab to duplicate it onto the thumbnail's text layer. Let's change the color overlay to yellow, F800. Next, drop shadows, let's go orange. Bevel and emboss, red, contour, done. Select the do you want to layer, bevel, set the color to gray, play around with the contour, drop shadow, black, hold Alt and drag the effects to the like this text layer, boom, done. Make sure all the layers are locked and select the Marquee tool or whatever that's called, or press M on the keyboard. Select all the text. Now press Ctrl T and by holding down Ctrl, drag this point upwards to get the slant effect. Pretty cool, huh? Let's align this. Now let's add a backglow effect. Create a new layer and select the brush tool. Color should be blue and set it to size 700. Smoothing should be at 32%. Take the layer below the subject and click a few times. Cool. Now let's add another layer and set the brush to 375. Color to white. Hardness to 11%. And let's put a few touches. Nice. Now let's add our thumbnails. Boom. Adjust them a bit as well. Make sure to lock the other layers and select the thumbnails as a group so we can align them. Select the first thumbnail, go to Effects and Outer Glow. Make the blend mode to normal. Color to red. Let's increase the opacity. Play around with the spread and size along with the contour. Now go to Inner Glow. Red, normal, control, OK. Now let's hold Alt and drag the effects. And change the outer glow to yellow. Same with the inner glow. Okay, drag again, set the colors to green. Alright, let's arrange the layers. Select them and make a group with this icon. Let's rename to thumbnail and text. Now for the best part, the neon effect. Create a new layer and set this color to black. Click on this paint bucket tool and press the background. Create another layer on top of this and link them. Next, hover over this icon and click on gradient map and link this layer to it as well. Now click on the scale, aka gradient map. Let's click here at 30%. Set the color to dark blue. Next at 65%. Set it to blue. And the end to light blue. Okay. Click on the black layer and come to this tab here and select Screen. What Screen does is it removes the black from the image. Move the subject layer below the black layer. Select layer number 6 that's linked to the black layer. Set the color to white. Select the brush tool. and set the brush size to 30. Hardness 5, smoothing 25. Now, let's paint over and get the neon glow. Use the smudge tool to get creative. I will speed this up. In case you mess up, don't forget to use Ctrl Z to undo. Now I'm going to make myself look better. Unlock the subject layer and convert it to smart object. Now go to filter and camera raw filter. Just play around with these. Exposure, contrast, highlights, texture, clarity, vibrance, and saturation. Now let's go to detail. Sharpening, noise reduction, then into effect and add in some grain. Perfect. Let's lock the layer. Now let's add in some elements to give it a sick look. First, the blue flame, because why not? Drag it to the main project. Ctrl+T and resize it and align it. Now while it's in free transformation mode, right click and select warp. Let's adjust it around the finger. Now to see some magic, set the mode to lighter color like this. Doesn't it look cool? Now let's add some blue fog. Let's take it below and adjust it. Okay, now let's add some particles. These are gold particles. Remember, when adjusting the position, lock other layers so they don't get affected. In order to make them blue, you go to adjustments and click on hue and saturation. Adjust this slider to get the desired color. Let's add in some saturation too. Now lock the layer. Next, we are going to make this look professional for the final touch. Click on the topmost layer and press Shift plus Ctrl plus Alt plus E. Convert this to Smart Object and Filter, Camera Raw Filter, at the same effects as earlier. Play around and get creative, guys. If you found this video helpful, drop a thumbs up and subscribe, as it will help this channel a lot. And the thumbnail's done. All the best and go crazy with your creativity, guys.